Hello again, guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you could not tell, we're inside the Tesla Model 3 today. This is my mid-range Model 3 I've been driving for about 3 weeks now. And this is not something that I intend to do terribly often, but there was an update that came out that I received this week, and I thought it would be really interesting to share some of the latest and greatest features that the Model 3 now has. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get the release notes to pull up at the moment. If I click on release notes here, it just says what's new in this update and doesn't show anything, but luckily I did take photos of it with my phone earlier on when the update did first roll out earlier this week. So I'm not sure if you can see it here or not, but this is version 9.0, 2018.48.12.1, D6999F5. So what makes this new updated version special and unique and worthy of making a video about, you might ask? First, it came with a keep climate on option. Now you can keep your car and its contents at the temperature of your choice even after you left. There was the option before to turn on climate control when you're outside the car, but there wasn't a way to tell it to keep it on entirely. I'm sitting here in park currently, and you can see the option right here, keep climate on or off. The climate will turn off after you leave the car. So that's a nifty little feature. It will, however, turn off. It'll notify you and everything if the car goes below 20% battery remaining, so it won't run you dry, which is really nice. Also, they updated the mobile app, so now you can actually turn on, off, or adjust the seat heaters from the app. If you have seat heaters, I do in this one, and I don't think I've actually tested that out yet. Yeah, just double checking the app. It looks like I may just not have received the latest update yet, so hopefully that'll be coming sometime soon. But then we get to the really sort of fun and interesting stuff. So first, we have what's called Romance Mode. If I swipe down here, you can now see there's a few new options in the Easter egg menu. The first one I'm going to point out, and the first one they listed on their release notes, is Romance Mode. So if I push this button, it'll take just a second. Sorry, my screen's not clean here, but you get this lovely roaring fire, and you can't feel it, obviously, but it's actually blowing air out of the vents now. And it's not currently warm, but the car has not been warmed up yet, so actually it feels kind of nice to me, but there you go. You have a nice roaring fire, so you can cuddle up and park with your loved one, your friend, your family member, your co-workers, whoever you want to cuddle up by the fire with, and just spend a little bit of time. And when you tap 3 times on the screen, it does go back. It cuts all that off. Now the next one, and you may be able to see it already on here, is Emissions Testing Mode. And it's a whoopee cushion in the Easter egg menu. So if I go ahead and tap on that, Emissions Testing Mode shows up. It says Fart on Demand. Press the left steering scroll wheel to fart. Fart on turn signal, and then you get to pick what kind of fart you want it to do, as well as picking where in the car you want the sound to come from. So you can do it from the driver's seat, from the passenger, or either of the left or right rear passengers. I had it on the back here because my son was in the car, but I could easily pick the passenger, and then anytime I press it here, it's going to do an emission test. And there are quite a few there, but they do get a little bit repetitive over time. Also, as I mentioned earlier, you have that option to press in the scroll wheel to fart or fart on turn signal. So now that I've got those selected, if I use this button, wherever I have selected in the car, it's going to play that. And if I use the turn signal, it does it in sort of a generic place here at the front every couple of seconds, which is really funny because I was on the phone with my wife the day after I got this update, and it just kept doing it every time I would make a turn because I forgot to turn it off. It does, however, not leave these on by default, so every time you get back in the car, you'll have to re-enable these if you want to use them. So if you want to prank your friends, get to the car quickly, turn them on. And then the last part of the update to talk about is sort of a twofer. One, first and sort of most interesting, aside from the emissions testing, in my opinion, is pole position. They've added the new game Pole Position, the new very old game Pole Position, and the controls are the really interesting part of this. Maneuver. Turn the steering wheel to maneuver. Accelerate. Press the brake pedal to accelerate, and shift by using the scroll wheels, the left or right scroll wheel. Keep in mind, use the brake pedal, not the accelerator. Hit OK, and we're ready to go. If I hit full screen, we're going into full screen mode, and you'll be able to see here, I'm using, you can't see the brake pedal, but I'm using the brake pedal as well as the steering wheel to control the car on the screen. The Tesla that's on the screen. If I use the knob here, it shifts into high gear, and then I crash. Oh no! I was never any good at pole position, but it is so much fun to play as a car. I think it would be a little bit more fun if you could play it right in front of it, which actually does lead into the last update, and this one's a really interesting one. They've added support for controllers, so you could technically take like an Xbox 360, an Xbox One controller, anything that has a USB connection, and hook it up down here underneath where you would set up your phone. You could just plug it in down there and temporarily have a controller over whatever game you happen to be playing at the time. So that was a really interesting part of the update for me. Especially if they add more games to this moving forward. I mean, it would become more of an actual, like, game console for while you're traveling, not while you're driving, but just while you're traveling. But either way, it's a really interesting update. Let me know what you think of it down in the comment section below. I do have a few more Tesla-related videos coming about some accessories. You may be able to tell just from looking around, I've got some accessories in here. But I think that's going to wrap this video up for today. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel to get notified of any new videos, be them about Teslas or about new devices or stuff going on in my life. So thank you guys as always for watching. We'll see you again next time.